Well, now we're going to have our second guest of all time, live to air, that is. A good friend of mine from the magical arts community, another mentalist. He has his PhD in ESP. He's currently performing at Canada's Wonderland in his own show called The Haunt. He has actually even been inspiration for a character in South Park. Have you put it together yet who this is? Not only that, he's been on MTV, Much Music, Kenny and Spenny, Kenny vs. Spenny show. He's been on the cover of I Magazine, and he's even performed with little old Baldini. Mm-hmm. I'd like to welcome to the show, and with great pleasure, my good buddy, Mysterion the Mind Reader. Give it up here for Mysterion the Mind Reader.
Thank you for having me on, Baldini.
You are absolutely welcome. You're absolutely welcome.
You know, it's a pleasure to be on a great show like this, and I'm glad to see you doing this. You know, magic is such an inspirational thing, and being in an environment where we can speak amongst ourselves openly, and the public can see that. It's sort of like seeing things from the backstage. And
absolutely.
Getting inside our heads instead of me getting inside yours.
Absolutely.
So I like this idea.
Yeah, and I mean, you've been on TV a lot and radio. You do radio frequently, yeah. Which is interesting to conduct mentalism.
Oh, sure. I mean, well, you got to remember that public mentalism, you know, for the masses was originally, you know, Joe Dunninger did that in the 40s and early 50s. It was the most listened to radio broadcast on NBC was the Dunninger Mentalism show, and mentalism is based in a lot of time in radio, and being a performer, a stage performer, and any well-rounded performer is going to be able to go on radio and communicate. And it's theater of the mind. It's
absolutely,
it's theater of the imagination.
And I like that expression, theater of the mind, because believe it or not, there was a TV show, excuse me, a radio show called Theater of the Mind.
Yeah, that's right.
Wasn't that The Shadow?
Still on.
Who knows what evil looks in the dark?
Right,
the Shadow knows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It sounds like me on Wonderland stage.
There you go. I can open for you.
You can, absolutely.
I don't do much mentalism.
We'll see.
And I don't have anywhere near as cool
you can
hair
set my You can set my mic down. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'll be your roadie, bro.
Yeah,
you know how to do that with my pleasure. So just a few more things about my friend Mysterion here, which you may or may not know. I mean, clearly being a mentalist is his lead element that you do in life. But you are also the creator and producer of the great Canadian burlesque troupe. You are also the co-producer of the Toronto International Burlesque Festival, which, so you know this, it's in Toronto, but it draws folks from all over the world, thus the name International. So you play a very big role in burlesque. And my first question to you really is, well, it's two-part. Number one, and I had asked James about this, did you, because I know you know some magic, and I've shared some effects with you, and you've shared some stuff with me. Were you, first of all, a magician, and only a magician, or has it always been mentalism for you?
I dabbled in magic as a kid. I remember when I was a teenager.
But never a performer.
No, that's not true, because in the early 90s, I would vacation in Ireland, where I have relations, and I would do street fairs to make a little bit of money. And so that was my first experience with earning an income doing magic, and I was doing simple card effects and twisting balloon animals.
Yeah.
You know about that. And so it gave me an idea of what can be done, and I went into culinary arts, and
You have a degree.
I have a degree.
He's a chef, folks.
And so
he's a chef.
As I started to realize I wanted to get back into performing, I'm heavily inspired being in the burlesque industry by the artists of the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, and the vaudeville scene. Having that sort of a background, I wanted to create a character that was like a old world mind reader. So somebody who would go on stage and read the thoughts of the spectator and leave it in this sort of ambiguous, vague, creepy state. Dr. Mysterion, came perfectly. And so that's where I started again and researched and, as we all do, spent a lot of money, and eventually came up with my
shtick,
my shtick, yeah.
Jews say
exactly, and I'm 50% there, so I get it. So
that's why your mom likes me so much.
Well, it's more my dad that would be Jewish. My mom likes you too. We don't talk about that anymore.
All right.
So that's where it sort of started, and I started on burlesque stages. I mean, I was getting up on a rowdy stage in a rowdy club. Girls would be stripping, and then here comes this little guy in a suit talking. Tough sell, real tough sell, and I was fortunate to be able to pull it off. And
sorry, how long ago was this? Your first
foray
into...
it's been about 10 years.
10 years.
It's been about 10 years.
Because you do these Mitzi's Sister once a month.
Well, we're not, unfortunately, at Mitzi's anymore. We're at the Comedy Bar now. But we've had a 7-year run. There you go. You can come by.
Bloor and...
Ossington.
Okay.
So we are still sometimes at Mitzi's, but we've moved it over to the Comedy Bar for sightline problems, but we're not going to get into that. The issue is that I do, or what we're talking about is I do a show every month at the Comedy Bar, and it's an industry show where people can come out and have an open stage to perform on, but I fly in now a performer from New York. Wow. Every month we have a New York burlesque dancer or comedian or artist from the New York scene. We then branch Toronto to New York, bridge Toronto to New York, I should say, and I go down now with the performers from Toronto, from Great Canadian, to New York. We just did our debut there a month ago, and I have subsequently another 6 or 7 shows booked in New York, so we're going back and forth.
That's awesome.
So it's fun. You know, it's great, it's awesome.
Good for you, dude.
You know, it's the performers are dynamite. These girls are everyday girls. They have day jobs, work in clothing stores,
That's what
offices,
I love about burlesque.
And then at night, you know, they get on stage and you can whistle, and it's their alter ego, just like this is my alter ego, and it fits beautifully.
You say that, homie, but I never see you out of character.
That's
Maybe
true.
once or twice.
Maybe once or
twice.
twice.
I was over your place in the early days when we met each other and we're hanging out, and you were in your bathrobe and your hair was down and loose.
I don't have a bathrobe. This hair is cemented.
It was blue and it was terry cloth, all right, buddy? I remember, but you cooked a badass...
You will forget those words.
More importantly, you cooked a badass meal for me.
Oh, thank you.
And I think we bonded at that point.
Food's the universal language.
And magic.
And magic, that's right.
Which Mentalism, by the way, is a part of, division of. I just wanted to, a couple things, because I do want to have James back on here, have a little bit of a debate with you guys about, you know, certain aspects of mentalism and the art form itself. But a couple things. Number one, would you like to elaborate more? Because I think it's fantastic. He's up at Canada's Wonderland, folks. He's got a show. I don't know how long the run is for. How long is the run for?
It's a month.
A month. So why don't you throw it back? Because I asked you about that, and I said, you know, that's amazing. How did you go about that? And this is another thing I'll say, bar none. Mysterion is one of the hardest working guys in the business. And I'm not even talking about, like, practicing his chops, because I think a lot of it comes relatively natural to you, and you're very good at on the spot and really, you know, creating that, like, he's really doing this kind of image.
Thank you.
But he's one of the hardest working guys in terms of, like, harassing, and I say it loosely. I think you might have even used the word. Like, I harassed Canada's Wonderland, you know, for like years, and I finally no, but not harass.
Yeah,
I mean, stayed on top of it.
I stay on top of it as much as I can.
I'm at iWeekly when it existed. Cover of iWeekly. How do you get cover?
We got another cover.
That's awesome.
3 months ago.
But how it happens, my point is that you work very hard at marketing yourself.
I think the secret is being sincere. The secret is being out there. The secret is being a performer for everyday people and having the ability to not necessarily network or schmooze, because that is part of it, but I think the sincerity, going to, for example, a club, and like you do this yourself, and meeting with people and treating everyone like they're your number one client.
Absolutely.
And what ends up happening is, it may not happen overnight, but what eventually happens is you've built a database of thousands and thousands of people who have seen you perform, and all you have to do is hit that one news broadcaster or that one editor or that one person, the right place at the right time, and you're going to hit that target.
Yeah, and you're being humble about this, but I am paying you a compliment when I say it. You, beyond that, work very hard. A lot of people, I'll give you a cover, and then they never call, and you don't make the call.
No, you got to call them back, and you got to go in and say, hey, listen, I'm going to do your party for you for pro bono, and lots of things that I do. Global News is filming with me this weekend, and on early next week, we're doing a Halloween feature on Global News.
Awesome.
You know,
awesome.
You mentioned Y108. I work with the radio station Y108 regularly on their morning show, doing on-air mentalism with the listeners.
But I want to talk to
the viewers.
I want to talk to you about your because I want you to do an effect, and we got to run this clip, and then I want to have Biss back on here. I'll have a little chat, but. Tell us more about your show at Canada's Wonderland, when it's on, how late it's running till,
where
people can get tickets.
What a fun show.
That's just fantastic.
Door tickets online, canadaswonderland.com. The show is part of the Haunt, an annual Halloween showcase of mazes, monsters, rides are open, and then there's the theater. Come into the theater, take a load off for a half an hour, watch the we don't actually have a name for them. I'm going to name them right now. They're the Mysteriats. They're ghouls that dance on stage with singing and rock and roll, retro songs. They sing, and then I come out and I do a seance, an old world style seance in a graveyard, and we get the audience involved, and table levitations and mind reading, and a ghost appears on stage. Well, some people think it's for real. But once again, it's
Theo does.
One of those things.
We're going to get him in here.
He's not even there. He's down.
We're going to have him here in a second.
He's down in the washroom right now. He's soiled himself. It's a real fun and it's a real audience interactive show, and it's a PG-13 show. So if there's little kids, they may not be wanting to come into something like that.
And I had you perform with me at the Science Center. Was it last year or the year before?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. And
there were many spirits involved with that as well.
But it was great. I mean, it's a kid family.
We're not going to talk about those spirits.
I remember those spirits from the night before when you showed up at my house.
Possessed.
You good to go? I'm good to go. And you hit it out of the park. In between shows, you had your head down.
We had a problem. It was possession. That's what we'll call that.
Well, I'll tell you what, because time is flying here. I want to. Are you prepared to do like a
absolutely?
A
Let's get one of the crew. You want to get one of the crew
in here, and if you can grab that little chair, Theo.
Come on over, Theo. I want you to just sit.
Have him sit right there.
Theo, if you could just sit over here. How you doing? Big round of applause for Theo. How you doing, Theo?
He's holding it down with all the camera angles and stuff. How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show. And the funny thing was, I said to Theo, I said, man, stick around. He goes, well, I got to go. I said, no, but we'll get you on the show. He goes, okay, I can stick around. So here he is. And he's really freaked out, by the way.
Good.
He's like,
well, Theo, have you ever been in contact with the spirit world? Have you ever had an experience where you think that there's a ghost in an environment that you're living, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Do you think it's out there, or do you think it's in here?
I think it's a bit of both.
I think it's all in here. I really do. I really do believe that there is no such thing as ghosts, that ghosts are nothing more than an idea that you've created in an environment. But I'm one to talk. I'll go and do a seance and take the money. Listen. Traditionally, in a seance environment, the lights go low. We're not going to do that because we're obviously on the air. I'm going to take my glasses off. Thusly, I can't see. But because I can still sort of see, we're going to make sure I can't see anything at all. I'm actually going to put myself taking away one of my senses. We're going to try to communicate with the dead. And I'll be honest with you, this bell is from the Knickerbocker Hotel. It was from the last Harry Houdini seance that was done there. There is a photo of that seance. And this is a piece of the tablecloth that was from that seance as well. If you could just hold on to that, please. And not too close to you. I want you there you, and it's not a bad idea. I have a bandage here that, it's just a tensor bandage. If you can just make sure you can't see through that. There's no holes. No, keep holding on to the cloth. Yeah, we got to get the energy. Just hold that up to your eyes. Make sure you can't see through there in any way. You got it?
Yeah.
Perfect. You can't see through there, correct?
No.
Okay, pass it back to me. Beautiful. Now listen, I'm going to take that piece of cloth, and I'm going to put this against my eyes and wrap my head. There's absolutely no way that I can see anything through here at this point. What I need you to do is I need you to pick up this pad of paper carefully. Take the marker, and I want you to write down the name of somebody who's passed to the other side, but not somebody who you know. And I want you to film him doing that, please. If you could film him doing that, make sure the camera doesn't see.
So someone I know?
Somebody you know, but not somebody immediately or somebody that's going to bring a feeling of being upset right now. Maybe a celebrity, or it could be somebody you know. Just the first name of anyone you know. You've done that? I can hear the pen moving, but I can't decipher what letters are being printed by the sound of a marker. I've had people say that that's possibly how I do this. Okay, have you done that?
Yes.
Okay, pass it over to me, please. Now, Baldini, have you seen the name that's printed on this pad of paper? So, what is it on the top or is it on the bottom?
It's
so on this side?
Yeah.
Okay, I could feel that. So I'm going to put it face down. Now, I can't see. I'm in the state. We're going to establish connection. If you could just note the bell, I want to just. If there is a presence, you're starting to feel the room get a little cold now, Theo, aren't you? You almost feel that little breeze. Can't you feel that? Listen, I'm going to take this off so I can look at you. You feel that breeze coming through the room right now? There's a little bit of, there we go.
What?
We're establishing a connection. You can almost feel somebody right standing behind you. Is that correct? It almost feels like right, but you do feel that. Is that correct? It almost feels like an energy, almost like a little electricity. It's touching your shoulder. It's going down your arm. You're feeling a little uneasy right now. Is that right?
Oh.
The bell is responding. That bell's actually ringing. There is a presence in the room. It's a male right behind you. I'm sensing the name. I'm only getting a very, 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 very bad connection because I'm on Telus Mobility right now, okay? So what I'm sensing right now, I'm getting the name. I'm sensing the name. He's telling me it's an R. Is that correct?
Yes.
It's an R. Is this somebody that you were related to?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
But you saw this person almost like family.
Yes.
Yes, and that's why this person almost sees you as a son. This person gave you advice. Is that correct? This person is an older gentleman. This is Rodney. Is that correct? He has left. He says he gives you good wishes.
Can you see that? Turn that over.
The paper. Let's see. I can't see. I can't see without my glasses.
It's okay. Just start to lose my sight. Show that to the camera right there.
That is exactly
Rodney,
the individual that you were thinking of. And I give you this. I give you this with good luck. Well, you know that can be the reaction. Sweaty palms, right? Can also be the reaction at a burlesque show, right?
True.
Yeah.